Hello, strangers. This is day 6, I think. Great start. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. This is day 6 of medication, and I have some updates. For the first 5 days, I didn't really feel any difference, and I wouldn't say worried, but I was surprised. I expected to be more focused or be more driven or anything like that, and I didn't feel anything. That said, during those days, I didn't really do any tasks that I would have difficulties doing in my day-to-day life before medication. That happened for the first time yesterday when my housemates moved out. Some of you fellow ADHD people might be familiar with the feeling of wanting to do something, having a plan, like tidying something, cleaning something, packing something, organizing something, and then not doing it, like not being too lazy or being held up by other things, not even being distracted, but just not being able to start. That's something I have experienced a lot, and some friends described similar symptoms. Yesterday we had some people over, friends who wanted to help dismantle the furniture and move the boxes, and my housemates had coordinated for them to arrive relatively early so that we could get done with everything in one day. When I joined the group to help, I was kind of overwhelmed by everything there was to do. Oi! I kind of felt stuck and didn't. Not that I didn't know where to start, there were so many options, but that's kind of the problem. So I basically stood there not being able to start with one thing because there were so many things to be done. There was some food, and I had breakfast and took my pill. I didn't even expect to start feeling anything immediately. But after a while, like something between 15 minutes and half an hour, something changed. And I don't think I would have noticed if I didn't explicitly watch out for behavior that was atypical for me. In this specific case, it wasn't a rush of energy or a burst of motivation or anything. I just, at some point, started doing things. Which sounds mundane, I am aware of that. But for the next few hours, I just continued working. Sometimes people came up to me because I live here too. I know where the things are. I know what was supposed to be packed. I was interrupted with questions, and I made coffee for the people. And during all these things, I never really lost track of anything. When there was something important that needed to be done immediately, I stopped whatever I was doing and I did the thing that I needed to do in that moment, and then I continued my work. And when I was done with one task, I thought about what else needed to be done, picked the next task, and went on with it. That sounds like such a weird brag, like I thought of something and then I did the thing, but that's just not how I used to function. That's a new experience, so to say. And saying that, I don't think I would have noticed. I didn't feel different at all. That's the thing that amazed me the most. In that moment, I felt like I was like I always was, and I felt like I acted as I always would have acted. And I believe the only reason I really did notice is because I was focusing on the symptoms I knew I had and looking out for changes or looking out for a behavior in myself that would contradict the symptoms I knew I had. I know I still have. Like, I'm not fixed now. It's just in that moment, I worked I functioned. And that felt great. Like, not not the effect of the medicine felt great. I didn't feel anything, but experiencing, hey, right now I'm functioning and I'm efficient. Efficient is a good word for that. Realizing that was what basically gave me a rush. It felt fantastic because that's not something I'm used to. Also, after 5 days of not really having felt any difference, I was relieved because I thought, okay, this is something that does change and that does affect me. Maybe that's a good sign for two reasons. Because first, I don't feel different and I don't want to feel different because I generally like myself. And secondly, fuck off. Where was I? Oh, second reason. This is one of the reasons I wanted to try medication. I want to go to school, I guess, again. The details really aren't relevant right now. But the point is that I'll have to be able to focus and learn even those things I am not particularly interested in myself. And I have an incredible hard time doing that. The way the medicine affected me while packing up and moving for my housemates made me really optimistic that it might have a similar effect on me while learning, and that would be fucking brilliant. It was really fascinating seeing how, basically half an hour after taking the pill, it started to affect me. The same thing in reverse happened later that day in the evening. We were at my housemates, ex-housemates, bloody hell. We were at their place. I think I'll just keep referring to them as housemates. We were at their place and we were moving about. That's my cut for here. We were at their place, we were moving about, unpacking boxes, building up the furniture again. I stood there thinking, okay, there are people moving, something else should be done. And I didn't really know what next to do. Not because there weren't obvious tasks, but my mind kind of felt cluttered. Yeah. Then the realization hit me, okay, these are my symptoms. I'm used to this. So it's not something shocking, but it's not how it was before the rest of the day. So I checked the time and I had looked up how long the effects of the medicine would last. And indeed, sometime not too long ago, the effects should have started wearing off. So they had, and I realized that. It was really interesting to feel the effect in both directions. As far as side effects go, the list is long of possible side effects, and I was both curious and a little bit worried to see which ones of those might apply to me. And up until yesterday, I didn't experience any side effects. I told you that I didn't feel any effect of the pills at all, and that went both ways. I didn't feel any positive effects, and I didn't feel any negative effects. Yesterday, I had a really hard time falling asleep. Even after I did, I woke up a few times at night and kinda struggled falling back asleep. And that is a very common side effect of the medicine. That's not the only factor at play here. I just told you my housemates moved out, and the living room looks like a construction place, and it's just strange. I think it's very likely that this might have affected my being able to fall asleep as well. There was a lot going on inside my head, and not being able to calm down as easily as I usually would. I think that makes sense, so I don't want to conclude it was caused by the pills. But I will pay closer attention to that aspect in the coming days, so I can see how my sleeping patterns and sleeping behavior might change or might have changed since I started taking these. How did you first experience any changes? Were they positive first or negative first? How long did it take you to adjust to the medicine, whichever one you were taking? What would you like me to talk about in this format? Is there something you would like to know to compare it to your experience, or maybe that you want to know about because you're considering medication, or are you just curious about ADHD or medication? Well, anything. Don't hesitate to ask. Write the questions down here, write them in the Discord. There are a few people there, but they're all nice people who listen to my podcast. Go there, and you can go there as well. It's free. Please join, talk to us, talk to me. The link is down here, and I would love to welcome you there as well. See you, strangers.